there was excitement, and it's like, oh my goodness, what if we can take these traumatic moments and create some peace and excitement? Because that's exactly what those two women did for us.
Another episode is coming up. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Tommy Young Show. How did you guys get involved in it? I mean, what
Yeah.
Did you grow up saying this is what I want to do?
No, I grew up over in Quincy where we are now and where we began Connect. And I was very oblivious to the need. I guess I was in a bubble, but I never thought I was. But I did know in my young adult life that was something that I wanted to be a part of, that I wanted to foster at some point. And I think, Adam, you did too. And when we got married, it kind of just seemed appropriate. We didn't wait too long. 6 months in, we were like, all right, let's try it out. And we were so blissfully ignorant, I think is the right word, as to what that looked like. So it took about 6 months to get licensed. We took in sibling set, 2 sisters, 5 and 6 years old. And those were our first 2. We had 4 children. We don't currently have any in our home. But those first 2 made us aware of the needs. I think that they were very God ordained. It made us aware of the needs in the community and our surrounding communities. So our youngest, the brief story with that is she had some hospitalization. She was actually asked to leave public schools because of behaviors that they just were not equipped for. And but the sweetest, most amazing little girl just had a lot of stuff that she was dealing with, a lot of trauma that she nor the rest of us understood. So we became very passionate about advocating for her and her sister and the brother that wasn't with us. And in that, we began advocating for the hundreds of kids in our community. So we actually sat down with foster agencies and just said, at that point, we just had relationships from being foster parents. And we said, how can we help? We see you guys tirelessly working 24/7. And at no point do we want to come in and say we can do it better. But I think what we really wanted to do was just say, how can we come behind the scenes and boost you up? So they kind of just created a dream list of things. Connect does some of them. Some of them we do not do because they're still big, big dreams that seem like a little too much for us to tackle. But that's how we began coming up with ideas of services and really how we measure how we grow and what's going to come in the future, because we really try to think of what does our county, what do surrounding counties need right now for the children that are in care.
Sure. And we want to be a resource to foster parents because there's a statistic out there that says half of foster parents after their first year will burn out or quit. And I want to bring it back to you, Kat. Our first night, without the support of friends and a community around us, I don't see how we would have made it through. So tell them about that first night where we said yes to bringing our girls home.
Yeah, so we knew the girls were coming. Sometimes you don't have as much notice as we had, but we did know for a couple days that they were coming. So we had all the physical needs we thought met. Got the extra bed because we were planning on 1 kid and all of that. But what we didn't know, so about 5 minutes before we got them, we got a call. Hey, there's potential bed bugs. They both have lice. What we were really not scared about, but what really was alarming was the bed bugs. And the agency actually said, will you meet us at a laundromat? And so we met the girls there, made it a party. In the future, year down the road, we drove by and I'll never forget one of the little girls saying, hey, that was our party night. So we went and got them there, signed papers on the hood of a car. And then we picked up clothes on the way there. So we just didn't take anything until we knew more about the situation. And then we went back, and 2 of our friends that had been foster parents, and one of them, friends for a long time, but not necessarily in super close relationship at the time. But she just showed up at our door at 11 p.m. and was picking lice out of heads, and they were there till after midnight. The other one ran to Walmart on her way and brought toys, so the girls are playing with Barbies and doing their hair while their hair was getting done. And we had a party in the kitchen while Adam and I are just looking at each other with the widest eyes, going, "What have we done?" But there was excitement, and it's like, oh my goodness, what if we can take these traumatic moments and create some peace and excitement? Because that's exactly what those two women did for us. And that we think of that and we reference that regularly, because especially in that one moment where a child is removed from wherever they are and put in a new setting, and then that family in the new setting is saying, okay, here's our new future. In that moment, the last thing people need is figuring out what they need to run and get at Walmart, figuring out what they're going to have for dinner, figuring out who's going to help them create the calm. And so that's a lot behind what we did, because we figured it out through our own disasters.
Yes.
So you learn firsthand is what it amounts to. I mean, you saw what it took to be a foster parent, the back scenes. So basically, what your friends and family were doing for you when you had these two girls is kind of what got you into this, saying, hey, this is one way that we can help with foster parents, right?
Yep. If we can keep those open beds open, then we can do a lot for our community. We can double the size of open beds.
And our services kind of came from one that meeting with the agencies, DCFS, Chaddock, and Lutheran in our Adams County area. And they really said, hey, if you can provide these services, it would be a big help to us on the day-to-day frontline work. So with our foster parent experience in that meeting, we were doing foster care cafes for foster parents, being a part of those, and they were being held at churches, just providing community to foster parents so that they, aren't feeling isolated, because, saying yes to, kiddos that are not your own and bringing them in, a lot of people can't understand, and you kind of felt like you're on an island. And so we started in the churches, and then really understood that, hey, we need a defined space to continue to grow. Not anything to do with churches not being willing to support us, but they have a mission of winning people to Christ, and sometimes scheduling things just we're already booked up, or so. We really just kind of prayed about it, and at that time found our office location at 6th and State in Quincy. The Napide Manufacturing has old office space that a 501c nonprofit, C3 nonprofit can apply for, and then get into that space at an affordable cost. So we got a building, and then continued to add services as we went.
Wow. So your current services that you offer, does that include parties in the kitchen, or what kind of services do you guys offer? I mean,
it might now, Adam. It does if needed.
Yeah. Well, with that, building 1,000 square feet that we were given, we have a multi-purpose kind of conference space where those cafes for foster parents can be hosted. So we have that defined space. There is a space for parent-child visitation. What we identified was we see a lot of times those those visits were happening at a McDonald's or even at a park in the community. And when it gets cold outside, there needs to be a space for that to occur. So really, just simplistically, see a need, meet a need. And was kind of how we developed our mission statement and vision, and just as we kind of progressed into the future. That first night that we experienced with our girls, we again, these are not new concepts, things that we created, but we wanted to provide starter kits that we say. So a foster parent in the first 24 hours of placement will show up with a luggage bag of changes of clothes, hygiene products, just so that they aren't running to Walmart and all the chaos and, transition, and we can kind of help offset some of those decisions or financial burdens that could come from saying yes to a placement.
Mm-hmm. And we also, with some of our kiddos, we couldn't do simple things like run to Walmart without carrying a kicking one out of Walmart, and doing a lot of things that was too overstimulating. So my heart in the space and our heart in it was to create a space that felt really safe. And if for some reason it didn't feel safe and we did have outbursts, then so there's a hole in the wall, we'll fix it, Napide. Or so something gets torn up. It's just, your bigger yes can be focusing on the well-being of the child.
And then I guess adding to those services, we have what we call our boutique. People can come in and shop, and we get donations that we will put, in that boutique. New items, gently used items where, foster placement may grow out, may hit a growth spurt and need different items. They're welcome to, come in and get those items free of charge. With the whole boutique idea, it's, they are not second rate. We want them to feel just like any other biological child that, we would treat our own. So that was kind of the goal in establishing that space in our building. And that's kind of the main services. There are, dreams of growing additional services that we'll get into as we go, but for the most part.
So the thrift store, where's that? What location is that at? Is that actually at the location that you guys are located at, or what's?
Sure. That has come about since September of 2022 through our mission partnership with the Crossing Church and Bruce Freeman, the benevolence pastor there. They have a phenomenal Crossing thrift store, and just through that kind of partnership, we were able to get a location at the Q Center Shopping Center. The address is 307 North 36th Street, Suite 207. If you're a Quincy native, it's by Wendy's and El Rancherito. That thrift store was established where all proceeds of items that are donated will go back to meet foster care needs. And really, it's about being able to say yes more. Previously, we were funded just through private donations or grants, and with other income streams that we were able to bring on board that, allows us to meet more needs in the community.
Wow. So you got a starter kit. So when these parents take over, they're given a suitcase with items, hygiene, clothes, but then you got to be specific on the clothes, right? I mean, what age they are, what size they are. I mean, what does that look like? You guys do an amazing job, but it's specific for the kid, for the child.
That's where our partnership with the agency is really key, because our goal is to make life easier for the foster parent and the child. But in that moment before they have the child, the parent, and so they often don't know any of that information before they get the child. So the agency will often, more and more, they will call us and tell us we have a child coming into care. A lot of times we can get that luggage delivered before they even go to the new home, and they get to take it with them like new luggage. So we've met in parking lots at the hospital. We've met in the DCFS parking lot, Chaddock, a lot of places. And that's our ultimate goal. If we can let the child take something new with them, that's what they do. But we do the best we can. Sometimes we're off on sizes. Sometimes we have to guess a little bit. We say the goal is to make the first 24 hours effortless. And so usually we can get between PJs and different things enough for the kids' socks. But our goal really is to give them about a week's worth. So if we can. So we really just do the best we can, but we also try to keep supporting them. So through the thrift store, one of the things we do is they get a $50 gift card. That can be for the child. That can be for any other household need that they find at our thrift store. Can be used anytime throughout the year. And we do plan on renewing that as often as we can as an annual gift to families. And so that's just a continuation. But if any other need arises, we haven't often had to say no at least recently. So we've done Amazon orders delivered to your door. We just kind of get through, but it gets tricky. It gets tricky with all ages. You have a lot of teens, and teens can be a lot of tall and short, and the feet can be big.
Definitely.
A lot of interesting guesses. We'll call each other and say, "What do you think?"
And we've heard, several occasions where kids would be going to their new placement with trash bags of their items, and no kid should have to experience that. So bringing a luggage that they can take with them throughout just brings dignity to the situation and to the child. So that's what the child and trying to just love on them, and just let love and just a safe place, all those things hopefully rewire some of those brain neurons that have I'm not a brain doctor or anything like that, but just what trauma does, being in a loving home can start to rewire some of those traumatic experiences that they've experienced in the past.
So you give them the suitcase, but then even afterwards, the foster parents are reaching out or saying there's communication with you guys, not only meeting with a biological parent or whoever at your location, that's great. You got heat, right? You got air.
Yes.
I mean, it's a great mutual place to meet, so that's great. But during the year, there's probably phone calls that say, "Hey, we need this, we need that," right? I mean, that happens as well as part of the service, so it's continuing.
Yeah, we just had a family actually that we've been in relationship with through a lot of their children, foster children, and they had one with some medical needs that actually was in a hospital for a couple months and got back home, and we got to meet with them and say, okay, so like what out of the box thing did you not think of that you needed, and you came home and you thought, oh shoot, I need that. So we really try to uniquely partner with them really specifically for the children and what they need and what makes them, the parents, feel less alone, so they feel equipped to really meet these children's needs.
Yeah. Wow. So you got all this going on, and this is your full-time job, right? For the most part,
his full-time job.
Okay, his full-time job.
Yeah. So before I was a caseworker at Chaddock for 2 years, and then May of last year, 2022, just through our mission partnership with the church and just finances that we have raised, for the 4 years since starting in 2019. We were able to bring me on as the director. The board approved that. And from that, I was able to come on full time. And, before that, it was, in the evenings, on the weekends, just bootstrapping it along. And just from there, we've just been able to kind of grow it, grow our team, and just the ability to impact the community for the good as much as we can.
Right. So you had this, you go full time, you're doing this as a couple, obviously. You're supporting him, you're being there, you're helping him. What are your dreams or aspiration? I mean, for this, we all have our dreams, right? I mean, and it the sky's the limit. Let's just say the sky's the limit, right? Where do you see this going? And that'll lead me to my next question.
Yeah. I guess, you kind of have to go back to the mission and why we do what we do, and just being the hands and feet of Christ, and seeing a need and meeting a need simply. Obviously, there are times where you want to be laser focused on where you're going, so there's not mission drift or any things of that nature. But I go back to our name's Connect Child and Family Solutions. So with that solution piece of it, if there's not a solution to a problem, and we can try to put some effort and focus on it, and not that we have the secret sauce, but are just willing to jump through the hoops or things of that nature. For instance, affordable housing in our community is a big priority, and there's already a number of great agencies doing great work. The YWCA, Quinata, Salvation Army, just the Quincy Housing Authority. They are doing great work right now. But if we can come up with the financial resources to then acquire those properties, that will then allow us to have housing available for our clientele that we work with in a lot. So that's an out there dream. There's people that are couch surfing who are homeless that could really benefit from that. But that's just kind of an opportunity that we continue to try to see what we can do to do our part in that area. What are some other things?
Yeah, well, and with that one sector that would serve as a sector that's really close to my heart is our intact families. So an intact family is somebody who has an open case with DCFS or whoever your local agency is. So they're being partnered with the agency, but they still have the children in their care. And you kind of talked a little bit about what we know about our minds and our brains. And what we do know is if a child can safely remain with their family, the chances for success skyrocket. And that's what we ultimately want. We want to create safe family units before foster care is the solution. And so housing and other items, we haven't talked about our rehabilitation that we do with one of our employees and partnering with those families. I think getting to continue to do that is a big goal of ours, and to really just look at the 360 of foster care, and that starts before foster care even happens. Sure. So that's one of the big goals that I always shout about because I get excited about that.
And that rehabilitation service contract that we have, Jake Wiemelt, he is just a phenomenal coworker, and he goes and works with clients that we were referred. He will, if it's an environmental issue and there's just cleanliness of the home, he'll come in and just, treat them and meet them where they're at and try to add tools to their toolbox to be successful. Maybe no fault of their own, have never been shown this is how to clean this area or to keep bugs or mice from entering, or how do you eradicate when those things happen. But he can work with environmental issues. He can budget. He'll even, a stressor that, clients may have is, getting an organizational chart or just going and buying groceries. Just a kind of a holistic approach. He will build that relationship and rapport with them and just come alongside them and provide resources that, weren't previously there. So we're really excited about what he is doing with those clients that we have. There's just, things that we continue to add, connect to continue to meet those needs.
Mm-hmm.
So, but for me, I'm not handing out suitcases, right? I'm not having a party in the kitchen. I'm not doing any of that stuff. So for me and all the listeners, what are our opportunities for us to support you, and what can we do to meet those needs? Because there's obviously tons of needs that need to be met. How do we do that?
Sure. Really, we go back to just everybody can, kind of play in this arena. I like to say, if you're not going to, be able to, say yes to fostering as a foster parent, that's okay. You can pray. You can, just lift, our organization up, the clients. Just a lot of times it's just generational, family, history repeating itself, and if that cycle can be broken, that is so huge. We have had a partnership come online with the Toys for Tots, which was very neat, where we will provide birthday gifts for all youth in care. So coming and wrapping birthday gifts could be an opportunity to get involved, and through our thrift store, just if you have household items, clothes that you have grown out of, consider donating them at our store. We do not make a profit from them. It's tied back into the community. So we have a box truck if they're bigger items and we need to coordinate coming to get them. That's a possibility. And then just, if, you have a passion to really just see, your impact through a financial donation, outside of, or just locally in our community, giving financially to the mission just allows us to continue to add, different services, different, blessings to biological, the children, biological parents, the children, obviously, foster parents, agency workers, just all the above. And we have a website that you can see all those things at. It's www.connectchildandfamily.com.
Mm-hmm. Good job.
Man, I had a kind of a mental break right there, but yes, that is our website.
so they can just go on the website and they can pay with check.
Yep. We have anything.
Cash.
So if you want to mail anything to us, our address is on there for our 6th Street location, but you can also do credit card or any type of electronic pay through our website as well.
And there's a volunteer submission form where you can submit hey, I'm interested to know more, and we'll receive that through our email, and then we'll follow back up and just kind of get you connected where, different opportunities are coming.
Right. So location-wise, I mean, Quincy area for help, support, that area there.
Sure.
What else is on your website? That people need to be aware of.
We have our board of directors who we kind of answer to. They are all listed there, as well as our staff. We have an online store that kind of our tagline is "Be the Village." It kind of puts a little action to that statement of get involved, do something, and you can say purchase items there. We're always kind of trying to tweak and add to our website just to, people that may have given or have given. We're looking for kind of a place to highlight that, and that is coming in the future, as well as just adding. I think it's kind of a very simplistic thing, but a tab that foster parents may can go to for a dictionary of definitions of, hey, I'm going to hear these words at the court proceedings that I go to, and just kind of they can come there and learn, hey, what is a GAL, what is the dispositional hearing, just adjudication hearing, just those different things, which a lot of caseworkers can provide that. But if they can, in addition to that, find it at our website, it's a win, I think. What else?
There's also a way to sign up for our newsletter. So we do have a newsletter. It's quarterly right now. We hope to make it more of a monthly thing, but if you do want to just stay aware of what's going on at Connect, that's a great way to do that.
Yep. And I'm just kind of thinking through things as well. If you're a foster parent, you can sign up to receive a birthday gift for your child in care on our website there, as well as there's a foster parent verification for our $50 gift card through our Connect store. We just, ask that we would be able to, reach out to your caseworker, confirm everything is, the way it should be, and then we'll say, hey, come get in and get your $50 gift card. So a lot of things there on the website. So come check us out. We're on social media, Instagram and Facebook. That's at Connect Child and Family as well.
And you can sign up through the newsletter through your website, right?
Yes.
So that can all be done through that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, very good. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
And God's blessings. You're doing an awesome work, and pray that God will bless you.
Thanks,
Thank
Tom.
you.